Hello and welcome to Slacker Bog Yoga. Whether you are just getting off work or just rolling out of bed or just couldn't sleep and wanted to do some friendly restorative PT, Hillary and I would like to welcome you to our session. So first, just finding a comfortable place on the mat, either with the legs straight out or bent, whatever's comfortable for you. We're just gonna take a minute to go inside, checking on our internal temperature, seeing how we're doing right now, saying hello to the body. And a great way to say hello to the body is to check in with the breath. So just breathing however you would like, whether it's natural or big breaths, but just feeling the inhales and the exhales however you would like, and seeing if right now, for the next 60 seconds, you can find any amount of relaxation here on the mat. Breathing in and out, checking in with our bodies. This program was designed in order to get in touch with how you are doing today. Because every day is different for our bodies and our minds, our emotional being. It's different than yesterday, it's different than tomorrow. So how are you doing right now in this present moment? And again, the breath is such a wonderful check-in with yourself to see how you're doing. So this first breath is just going to be a witness breath, just witnessing where a natural deep breath happens in your body. So I'm going to put one hand on my stomach and one hand on my chest, and I'm going to take a natural deep breath in and just see where it goes. So try not to jump to any judgments or conclusions about that breath, just noticing. So the second breath is going to be a diaphragmatic breath. And that breath is going to primarily allow the belly to rise during the breath. So we're going to be breathing into the lungs. We'll feel the diaphragm expand down into all the guts and all the organs and the lower intestines and all the gooey, liquidy stuff in there, and feel the belly rise. Again, if you would like, you can put a hand on the belly or the chest to see the difference. So taking a diaphragmatic breath in and a nice slow exhale whenever you would like. Excellent. And this last third breath I would like to share with you, I call an effortless breath. And this breath is basically allowing the air to flow into the lungs, almost like it's being poured in like water, reaching all the way to the bottom of the lungs and then expanding the entire lungs, feeling the breath three-dimensionally, pressing down, pressing out to the sides, pressing down against the floor, and filling the belly with breath. I'm not forcing this breath, it's almost like I'm allowing this breath to happen. So let's give it a shot, an effortless breath in and then out. Excellent. Just noting what happens. It's all data for us to understand where we are at today, presently, right now in this moment. So the first thing we're going to do today, and the most important thing that I would like for you to practice and work on today during our time together, and anytime that you do this, is thinking about how we stabilize the spine during our stretches, during our stabilizations, during anything that we do. So we need to sort of kind of find that stabilization. And the first step of finding that stabilization is gently rocking the pelvis. So tilting the pelvis backwards and forwards, up and down, just gently rocking. Now close your eyes and really feel what the quality of your tilt feels like right now. Where are your limitations? Do you feel any restrictions? So this is all, again, more data for how we're doing today, how our body is doing today. So taking note. And then we're going to make that tilt a little faster and a little smaller. And smaller and faster and smaller and faster until it naturally comes to a stop. This is our resting neutral pelvis. From our resting neutral pelvis, we're not using any muscles to hold here. We're just allowing the body to be this way, making sure that the knees are bent and the feet are on the mat at this point. And while we're here, we're going to go ahead and take either a diaphragmatic breath, if that's feeling good for you, or an effortless breath, if that's available to you today. Filling the lungs with air, so breathing in. And as we exhale, we're going to zip up the TA in the pelvic floor. We're going to allow the upper abs to be nice and loose and ooey gooey. And we're going to feel the shoulder blades get wide and broad and relaxed against the floor. I really encourage using your fingers to feel your lower abdominals. Make sure they're actually engaged. Check your upper abs. Are they relaxed? Can you get some movement out of those upper abs? Feeling the shoulders nice and broad and perhaps getting a tilt in the pelvis. Doesn't have to happen. Don't force the tilt. We're not making a tilt happen, but it might naturally happen. And if you do, then just taking note about that. So in this place, keeping that TA zipped and engaged, feeling the muscles knit together, can you take a relaxed breath here? Try and go ahead and explore a diaphragmatic breath, an effortless breath, whichever you want, here while we are holding this position. Let's do that one more time. All right, so as we're holding that TA, engaging that TA, keeping that zipped, and trying to find that relaxed breath, let's go ahead and warm up the legs for our stretches. So we're just going to take the left leg up in the air and bend and open the back of the leg. We're not stretching the leg. I'm not trying to stretch the back of the leg here, so don't push past till you feel a stretch. We're literally just getting blood into the leg and pumping the leg. Now, as we're doing this, check with your engagement. Is your TA engaged? Press your fingers into your lower abs. Can you feel engagement there? Mine stopped, so I'm going to re-engage that. Check your upper abs. Are they relaxed? Are your shoulder blades wide? Are your shoulders trying to help you here? Are they trying to lift up and control what's going on, overcompensate? If they are, just tell them to chill out and relax. We're going to pump that leg until it fatigues, which mine is just about to do. And then taking that foot down to the ground whenever you're ready, and just getting the other leg up in the air and go ahead and pumping that. Keeping that active neutral pelvis, and then practicing, checking it out, seeing if we can get a diaphragmatic breath here or even an effortless breath here. And as soon as that leg gets fatigued, you can go ahead and drop it down. And keeping that active neutral pelvis, checking the TA, checking that the shoulder blades are wide. We'll bring the left leg up, and we're going to pump the leg and foot away from the body, or we can bicycle the foot. Again, very important that as we are doing this and warming up the legs, that we're always checking in with our stabilization. We want our spine and our pelvis and our shoulders to be stable, to feel secure as we're doing these exercises for everything that we do. Extra gold stars for breathing into the diaphragm. And changing direction. And we're doing this until the leg fatigues. Mine's almost fatigued. And as soon as it's fatigued, go ahead and drop it down and just go to the other side. Keeping that stabilization, checking in with the TA and the zipped pelvis, keeping that pelvic floor engaged. Checking in with your breath, relaxing the shoulders, making sure the jaw is relaxed. Reverse direction. And as soon as your leg gets fatigued, you can go ahead and drop it down. And then keeping that active neutral pelvis, we're going to take the left leg up in the air again. I'm going to bend the knee, and I'm just going to rotate my hip in the hip socket. So really the goal of this is to think about the hip joint being super relaxed and juicy in the socket. Almost like you're pouring a bunch of lubricant in there and you're just gliding the hip bone in the socket, relaxing that area, while keeping the stabilization in the lower abdominal. So it's a little bit of a challenge here. Let's reverse direction on that swivel. We're keeping an engagement here and trying to relax the leg and the hip. It's a little bit of a challenge. Nice. And then dropping that down and right onto the other side. Visualizing, filling that ball joint with maybe butter or oil or lubricant and greasing up that hip. Sometimes I even like to visualize that somebody's holding my leg and imagine that it's being supported so I can really, really relax that whole side of my leg and the side of my hip. Reverse direction. Checking in with the breath. Excellent, and drop it down. And just relax that hold. You can either bring the knees to chest and gently rock side to side, or just hold still, or you can windshield wiper the knees side to side, or whatever you want to do. Your choice. Taking a few moments to just relax. So now that we have the legs warmed up, let's go ahead and start our first stabilization exercise. So as we will start every single one of our exercises today, we will go ahead and find our resting neutral pelvis by rocking the pelvis, noting the limitations, noting any restrictions, making that smaller and faster until you come to a stop. Deep breath in. Exhale, zipping up the TA, releasing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders broad, perhaps getting a tilt in the pelvis without forcing it, checking the TA with your fingers, And we will go ahead and lift one leg up, keeping that pelvis stabilized, and drop that leg back down. Lifting the other leg up, keeping that stabilization, and dropping it back down, one after the other. As we're doing this, we're checking in with that stabilization. My shoulders want to help here. Maybe your shoulders do too. I have to consciously tell my shoulders to relax. And then my jaw sometimes comes along, so I'm going to make sure I'm keeping my jaw loose and relaxed. And then I'm going to check in on my breath. Can I get an effortless breath here? Can I get a diaphragmatic breath here? It's important to keep the hips stable here. Making sure that we're not twerking or twisting the pelvis to make this movement happen. And we'll do one more on each side to even out. And then let go of that hold, relax the body. You can wiggle, you can squirm, you can bring your knees up to your chest, whatever you would like to do. Just relaxing, breathing. Excellent. Bringing the feet to the mat, knees up towards the ceiling. So let's go ahead and get into our stabilization position. Just gently rock the pelvis, checking in with the quality of the movement, making that faster and smaller until you stop. Resting neutral pelvis. Inhaling into the diaphragm. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders wide and broad, feeling the shoulders against the floor. We'll go ahead and take the left knee to the chest, grabbing onto the knee. And if your knee isn't accessible, you can use your strap that you'll be using later to extend your arms to hold onto the knee. You can always use a strap to extend your arms. So in this position, with our TA engaged and our shoulders relaxed, our jaw relaxed, our neck relaxed, I would like you to visualize that you're laying back in a nice warm stream of water, a little babbling brook, and this water is rushing from your head to your shoulders to your hips and allowing your leg to just glide along the mat, relaxing along the mat. We're trying to release and relax the psoas, a very important muscle, very long and very important muscle in the body, and just allowing that psoas to relax and release. I'm going to take my right hand and just let it fall to the ground wherever it will, and feel that water trickling down over your body, visualizing the relaxation from head all the way to toe. For me, my left leg starts to open up naturally to the side as I do this. It's just a part of the relaxation. So just checking your own body if that's working for you or not. I'm going to change my position, my hold on my leg, to my shin or my foot or whatever's accessible. And again, just continuing feeling the whole right side of my body relax. Just letting the water bumble and rumble and bubble down my body. Feeling it glide over the muscles. Nice. I'm going to bring that knee back up, place that foot on the ground. I'm going to use my abdominals to pull up my other leg. I'm going to relax that and shake that out a little bit. Maybe windshield wiper, maybe do a little shimmy, shake it out. And then we'll go right into finding our stabilization posture. So rocking the pelvis, checking in. What does it feel like for you? Making that faster and smaller until you stop. Inhaling in. Exhaling, zipping up the pelvic floor in the TA, relaxing the upper abs, shoulders wide, broad, and relaxed, and bringing the right knee to chest, either using a strap or your fingers around the thigh or the shin. Same kind of idea of visualization of like just being dipped into a nice, warm, bubbling Icelandic stream, feeling the water kind of slide and glide over your body. I'm going to let my left hand float out to the side and let my left foot just glide along the floor, relaxing it down. Just visualize the water touching your shoulder, running over your ribs, running over your hip, down the inside of your legs, down the outside of your legs, everything relaxing. And on cue, my leg is starting to fall open to the side. That's just something my body does. I'm going to switch position to get ultimate relaxation on the left side of my body. Breathing it in and feeling, visualizing the water. Excellent. Nice, and bringing that knee back up, placing the foot on the ground, using my abdominals to pull the other knee up, and then windshield wipering the knees side to side, or bringing knees to chest, and relaxing that posture. Bringing the feet to the mat, knees up towards the ceiling, and we'll go ahead and find our position. So rocking the pelvis, noticing any differences so far, and making that smaller and faster until you stop. Inhaling in. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, shoulders broad and wide, feeling the back against the mat. We'll go ahead and take our strap and bring it around our left foot, keeping the TA engaged, taking the strap to the arch of the foot. So here's where we're going to be hunting our hamstring stretch. The hamstring is in the back of the thigh between the knee and the butt bone. And you need to find where your hamstring stretch is the best. So right now, I can't feel a stretch in my hamstring. I have to reset my TA. I have to let my shoulders go broad. And as soon as I do that, I feel my hamstring come online. Some people need to bring their leg into the floor and feel the energy of the leg move into the floor. You need to hunt your hamstring stretch. Find it. Once you do, if you would like to take an exploratory reach with the right leg and feel that right leg slide along the ground, releasing and relaxing that right leg, and seeing if you can do that without any movement or twerking in the pelvic area. So we don't want to twist the pelvis. We don't want it to, kind of twist to the side, keeping that stabilization. If you can't do that today, no big deal. Keep the knee bent. As long as you're getting a stretch in the hamstring, that's what's important. Extra gold stars for diaphragmatic breath. Excellent. We're going to take the strap in the right hand, and we're going to be finding the IT band. So this is a stretch on the side of the leg. I'm going to slightly turn my leg out, like 1 degree, and I'm going to then bring the whole leg and pull it into the ground. So this is not something you can really see, but I'm feeling almost the muscles come alive into the ground as I take my foot across the center line of my body. The IT band is located between the knee and the hip, and you need to find that stretch for yourself. What do you need to do to find that IT band? Some people have very relaxed and loose IT bands, and they can get their leg all the way over to the side. As long as that hip doesn't come up off the ground, that might be what you need to do, as long as you feel a stretch on the side of the leg. Did you find your IT band stretch, Hillary?
I did know my IT band stretch, but my shoulders are not relaxing easily.
My shoulders are also not relaxed, so let's practice that. It's good mindfulness. Checking in with the TA, the broad shoulders. Check the jaw, check the neck, check the breath. Keeping that leg on the ground nice and relaxed. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Let's bring that foot back up into the air. I'm going to bend the knee that's on the ground and place the foot down. And I'm going to move my strap so it's around the ball of my foot. I'm going to drop my whole leg down about 40 to 45 degrees or so. And next we're going to be hunting the calf. So the calf is in the back of the shin. It doesn't take much for me to find my calves. Everybody's different. But I'm going to pull my toes back. You can already feel an engagement. And maybe lift my leg up a little bit for me. But what do you need to do to find your calf stretch? So checking in. Where's your TA? Can you release one hand and check your lower abdominals? Oh, mine totally were relaxed. There we go. Upper abs nice and ooey gooey. Shoulders wide and relaxed. Stretching out the calf. If you would like to have a little bit of a more intense stretch, you can stretch that leg on the ground. But I don't need it, so I'm going to keep my bed. It's intense enough for me. Some days. Check in on your breath. Where is it at right now? Excellent. And we'll go ahead and release the strap from the foot, and we'll bring our calf to our opposite knee. I'm just going to take a moment to kind of massage my calf. I have really tight calves. Lots of people have really tight calves. And just kind of give it a little massage. And then I'm going to rest my leg there in a spot that feels pretty awesome and just do some ankle circles, pumping some blood and energy into the ankles and listening to my foot crack. And reverse that direction. Excellent. And then we'll take that foot up in the air. We're going to spread the toes wide. And we'll squeeze them together, make a toesy fist. Spread the toes wide. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Spread as wide as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then shake the leg, shake the leg, shake the leg, shake the leg, shake the leg. Shake the thigh. Shake the whole calf. And then let that leg fall to the ground. And your choice, whatever you would like. Windshield wiper in the knees. Knees to chest. Just relaxing any tension you might have built from having that leg up in the air. All right, now that we've got our left leg stretched out, let's go ahead and do the right one and even ourselves out. So bringing the knees to a neutral position, and then go ahead and gently rocking the pelvis, feeling any limitations and restrictions, making that smaller and faster until you come to a stop, resting neutral pelvis. Inhale, Exhale, zipping up the TA, releasing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders broad and wide, and then taking the strap around the right foot. Bringing that right foot up into the air. And again, we're going to be hunting our hamstring stretch between the knee and the butt bone. What do you need to do to find your hamstring stretch? Once you find it, you can take an exploratory reach with that left leg. Just let it glide down, just like we did before when we were just releasing into that warm river. Just let the leg slide down. And if you can keep that engagement in the TA, keep that pelvic aligned, you might get a nice stretch. If not, keep the knee bent, no big deal. Checking in with your breath. Checking in with the TA engagement. Are the shoulders still relaxed? Is your jaw relaxed? Excellent. Going into the IT band. So the side of the thigh between the knee and the hip. I'm going to rotate my thigh just a little bit, just a degree or two. It's something that helps me. I'm going to pull all that energy down into my leg. This really helps me engage my IT band. And I'm going to slowly take that foot across the body until I can definitively feel a stretch. Sometimes I also feel a stretch in my lower part of the leg. That's fine as well, as long as you also feel a stretch on the side of the thigh. Again, checking in with your TA, relaxing the shoulders wide, and checking in with your breath. Keeping that hip down on the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1, and bringing that leg back up. I'm going to bend my knee on the ground just to kind of stabilize as I move the strap into the ball of my foot. So we're going to be searching for our calf stretch. So I'm going to pull the toes back, engage the foot, and bring the whole toes back. Really flex hard. And that's all I really need to feel my calf. Some people might need to lift their foot a little bit higher. You can go ahead and do that. Finding and hunting the stretch of the calf on the back of the shin. I'm going to check my TA engagement. Checking my shoulders. And I'm just going to explore and see if I can stretch that left leg straight along the mat. And I can, Who knew? Different on every side, different every time. Breathing. Can you get an effortless breath here? If not, can you get a diaphragmatic breath? Just checking in on the quality of your breath, always noticing. Keeping that leg on the ground relaxed and loose and watery. Four, 3, 2, 1. Excellent job. I'm going to bend that knee. I'm going to release the strap from my foot. And then I'm going to massage the back of my calf on my knee because it feels good. This is a great thing to do if you're laying around or watching TV. Just massage. Give yourself a calf massage with your opposite knees. Something that I have grown to love. And then I'm just going to pick a place that feels really awesome and then do my ankle circles here, pumping some blood and energy into the ankles. And reverse that circle. Nice. And then bring that leg up into the air, and we're gonna spread the toes wide, and we're gonna squeeze and make a toesy fist. And spread, 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 and squeeze, toesy fist. And spread, 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 squeeze, toesy fist, and then shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake the thigh, shake the leg, shake the calf, shake the foot. Nice, and bring it on down. And your choice, either knees to chest or windshield wipering the knees side to side. Whatever you would like to do. Just 3 breaths here, nice and relaxed. Excellent. All right, so we stretched the backs of the legs, we stretched the sides of the legs, we stretched the calves, and if you would like some extra stretching, just rewind that section and do the leg stretches again. I love doing that series twice, so feel free to go ahead and do that. And next we will get the deep rotators deep within the hip, the piriformis, and all the muscles surrounding that area. But of course, first, what we're gonna do is set our pelvis and our stabilization. So go ahead and gently rock the pelvis. Take a feel. Does it feel any different? Feel the same? Just checking that out, making it smaller and faster until you come to a stop, resting neutral pelvis. Inhale in. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, shoulders nice and broad and wide. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring my hands and fingers into my lower abs because we're gonna lift our legs up, and this is when I really lose my TA engagement. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our right ankle to our left knee, keeping that TA engaged, keeping the shoulders relaxed. I'm gonna first push that knee away from the body, and I'm gonna get for me, I get a stretch right around my hip, almost like the top of the IT band. It's just a little extra thing that I like to do. Feels kind of amazing. Just give that a couple seconds. And then I'm just gonna explore and see how I am today and lift that leg up off the floor. Now I'm gonna take an exploratory reach with my hand. Can I get my hand around my thigh? If I can't, you got your strap. Just take the strap around the leg to increase the length of your legs. If you can go ahead and reach the thigh, just grab a hold onto the thigh. I'm gonna check my TA. Is it still engaged? I'm gonna check my pelvic floor. Okay, my pelvic floor is engaged. How about my shoulders? Oh no, they are not relaxed. So I'm gonna relax my shoulders. Think about broadening them out. And then I'm either gonna wrap my hand on the inside of my thigh, if that's accessible to me, or I can take the hand on the top of the shin, push the elbow into the knee, and get a nice deep stretch in that right piriformis. Should be deep, right next to the butt bone, really deep in there. And I really need to check my posture here because there's a lot of things you can stretch in this area, including your back, but we really want to get the deep rotators of the hip, all the muscles that surround the hip. So check on your stabilization. I'm going to check my pelvic floor. I'm going to relax my shoulders, and I'm going to check in on my breath because I'm not breathing. Nice. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and let that go and release that. And windshield wiper the knees or pull the knees to chest. As we prepare to do that on the other side. Excellent. Coming back to neutral and setting our resting neutral pelvis, checking for any differences, making that smaller and faster until you come to a stop. Inhaling into the diaphragm. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders get broad and wide, taking the left ankle to the right knee and pushing that left knee away first, getting a stretch superficially in the hip, so closer to the surface of the IT band. I'm going to use my fingers to check that my TA is engaged. And then I'm going to explore that leg up. Can I reach a hand around the thigh? Do I need my strap? Can I get both hands around the thigh? Wherever you can reach. I'm going to check my pelvic condition here. Is my TA engaged? It's actually kind of fun to squeeze the pelvic floor here because it's kind of up in the air. Relaxing the shoulders, and maybe even taking a left hand to the shin and pushing the left knee away. Nice deep stretch in that left piriformis. Deep, deep in the hip. Checking in on the breath. Four, three, two, one, and release it. Let it go. Nice job. Relaxing, wiggling, whatever you need to do to sort of relax the body. All right. So we got the deep rotators, the sides of the thighs, the backs of the thighs, the bottom of the thighs. Now we got to get the tops of the thighs. So for our quad stretch, we'll go ahead and start on the side. So rotating to one side or the other. Coming into our TV watching pose. And just feeling here on the side how we can pretty much do the same, keep the same principles that we had when we were on our backs. So we can go ahead and tilt the pelvis. Might feel very different, but see any movement that you can get in your pelvic tilt. Nice and gentle. And then maybe making that movement a little smaller and faster, smaller and faster, until you get to resting neutral pelvis. Taking a deep diaphragmatic breath in. And exhale, zipping up the TA, relaxing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders nice and wide, even here as we're laying on the side, and exploring the left hand down the leg and seeing if you can grab the shin or the foot, maybe the toes, and then pulling that knee in opposite direction from the head. So we're hunting the stretch on the top of the thigh here. So whatever you need to do to make this stretch work for you. Some people need their knees quite close together. Some people like to stretch their bottom leg straight out. That helps them. For me, I feel more kind of in alignment if my knee is bent. But you need to find your best stretch. Getting a nice stretch in the top of the thigh. Being aware that the shoulder, I tend to throw my shoulder back and out of joint, so I'm trying to keep my shoulder up and in place. Breathing, extra gold stars for diaphragmatic breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let that go. Nice, and we'll roll right onto the other side of the body. TV watching pose. And again, feeling our pelvic tilt, even though it's going to feel very different lying on our side, but just exploring what that feels like for us. And then making that smaller and faster until you get to a stop. Resting neutral pelvis. Deep diaphragmatic breath in. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, shoulders wide and broad, and exploring the hand down the leg, seeing what you can grab. Your shin, maybe your ankle, maybe your foot, maybe your toes, and then pulling that knee away from the body. You can always use the strap here to elongate your arm. You can always use the strap to elongate your arm in any of these poses. Checking in on your relaxed shoulders. And then, of course, checking in on the breath. Four, three, two, one, and release and let go. Excellent. And then go ahead and come onto the back once more. So our goal here from the beginning was to really stretch the legs, fully stretch the legs in a stabilized spine. And we got the fronts of the legs, the sides of the legs, the backs of the legs, the bottoms of the legs. We even got the feet, we got the hips. So I think we have stretched it all except for the inside of the thighs. So let's give the inside of the thighs a little bit of a stretch. And of course, we're going to always start with our pelvic tilts. And now see if they feel any different. After all that stretching, have you found any change in your pelvic tilts? Might have. Yours too? Yeah. And then making that smaller and faster. And coming to pelvic resting neutral. Neutral resting pelvis. Neutral resting pelvis.
And RP.
And RP. And then we're going to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And exhale, zipping up the pelvic floor and the TA, knitting them together, feeling the upper abs relax. Shoulders broad and wide, and we'll bring both knees up to the chest. So pulling them in, even like rocking a little bit here. And then this is all about exploring. So I'm gonna first bring my hands to my shins and just bring my knees wide and see how that feels. Just checking that out. Is my TA still engaged? Since my pelvic floor is pointing up, this is a great time to check your pelvic floor engagement. And make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Now, if that feels good, maybe you could start to bring the feet up a little bit, checking out that. Maybe you can grab a hold of the ankles, or even bringing the two fingers around the big toe and checking out that. Maybe even wrapping the hands around the feet, which is not accessible to me today. So I'm gonna wrap my toes and taking that nice and wide. Checking my stabilization. Checking in on my breath, checking in on my shoulders. Are they relaxed? Does my jaw relax? And maybe even doing a little side to side action. A little happy baby. A little happy baby. Waiting for our giant mother to come and change our giant diaper. With our giant baby wipes. Excellent. And bringing that back to neutral. And then bringing the legs back down. And again, you can repeat this whole series if you want. Doing it twice is a lovely luxury. Highly recommended if you have time and desire. But for today, we'll just do each thing once, and you can choose whether you go back and do any of these a second time. Okay, we're all stretched out. So now let's go ahead and think about how our stabilization is now after all that stretching. So of course, how we start everything, finding our resting neutral pelvis, checking in on the quality of our twerk, and making that smaller and faster until we stop. Diaphragmatic breath in. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, relaxing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders wide and broad, and then keeping this stabilization, keeping it honest, checking on your pelvis, making sure your pelvis stays stable. I'm going to use my fingers to help me figure it out. Taking one leg up at a time, nice and slow. One leg up, and then slowly bring it down. At your own speed, at your own pace. Extra gold stars for diaphragmatic breathing. If you're feeling good about this, if you're feeling stable, if you feel your TA is staying engaged and you're keeping your shoulders relaxed and you're breathing deeply, you can add an opposite arm to opposite leg, lifting one arm up at a time, being mindful of the changes, checking for anything that's twerking out of place or twisting out of place, making sure you can keep your stabilization. If not, just do the legs. That's where you're at today. No big deal. Feeling the hip slide and glide in the joint. Keeping the work in the pelvic floor and the TA. Feel free to check your engagement. Check your chest. Nice and relaxed shoulders. Breathing. Nice, slow, relaxed exhales. Do a few more on each side. And then even it out. And coming back to neutral, releasing that, letting go, maybe doing a little shimmy shake, then maybe even doing a windshield wiper in the knees or knees to chest, releasing any tension that may have built. All right, we have one last stabilization to go. So we will go ahead and always start with our rocking tilted pelvis, making that smaller and faster until we stop. Resting neutral pelvis. Deep diaphragmatic breath in. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, shoulders relaxed and wide. I'm going to bring both hands into my TA because this is where I cheat. As I lift both legs into the air. Want to make sure that TA is still engaged. Keep it honest. Find your honest working edge. And from here, I'm going to dip one exploratory toe down to the floor, touch it, and bring it right back up. Trying that with the other toe, dipping down. How does it feel? And bringing it right back up. Keep it going at your own pace. Keep breathing into the diaphragm if possible. Relax the shoulders. Mine really want to help here. Really, really, really want to help. Do a few more on each side. And go ahead and even it out. Nice. And drop it down. Good job. We worked. We did a thing. Yay. We put effort out. We exerted ourselves. All right. Yay. Okay, so that was wonderful being on the back, and now we will finish our program by slowly making our way to hands and knees. Oh, take your time. We've been on the ground for a while. All right. Actually, before we start this, I've been adding this, and this has been really helping a lot. So just come to your, sitting on your heels, or if that's uncomfortable on your knees, coming up. And let's just do some really very quick shoulder warm-ups. Oh, we're off screen. Do this. But I'm gonna do it. Oh, wait, I can do it here. There we go. Yeah. And then reverse direction, just getting some blood into the shoulders. And feel free to sit any way you want. We're not going to be here for very long. All right. And then a little alternative shoulders. Yes, so alternative. Really into indie rock. And then bringing it forward. Just bringing some blood into the shoulders since we haven't been moving very much. All right. Hands and knees. And the same principles that we did on the back apply here on hands and knees. So have fun exploring your pelvic tilt here. In this position, it's going to feel very different. So just exploring it. What does that feel like for you right now? And then making that smaller and faster. You can practice your torque a little bit if you want. Make it bounce. Until you stop. And then deep diaphragmatic breath in. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor, releasing the upper abs, feeling the shoulders get wide and broad. We're going to release the head down towards the floor. We're doing the dermal sheath stretch here, the whole spine. So the head falls first, really let it relax, and then engage the abdominals into a very slight cat, very baby cat. Breathing normally, whatever normal is for you. And keeping the TA engagement, keeping the broad shoulders, lift the head first, looking up, 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 up. And then, keeping the TA engaged, release the stomach down and blossom the sits bones back. But don't release all the muscles, all the stomach muscles. Keep that TA engaged. Breathing. And then release the head, let it fall, just let gravity take it over, stretching the back of the neck, and then go ahead and engage the stomach muscles into a small little cat. Breathing. And then lifting the head, looking up to where it feels comfortable till you feel that stop. Keeping the TA engaged, keeping the pelvic floor engaged. Release the stomach down, blossom the sits bones out into a very small cow. Excellent. And then just for some warmth and movement in the spine, just come in and out of your baby cow and your baby cat. Breathing as normally as you would like, or however you would like. Just a few more times. Excellent. And coming back to a neutral position. Pelvic tilt. Faster and smaller till you stop. Inhaling through the diaphragm. Exhale, zipping up the TA in the pelvic floor. Nice, loose and ooey gooey upper abs. Nice broad shoulders. And then we're just gonna look over one shoulder and take a look at your foot. Hey, foot. And then go right over to the other side and take a look at your foot. Hey, foot. Keep breathing however you would like here. Deeper the breath, the better. The more relaxed, the better. The effortless, the better. And just feeling that the TA is engaged, so the spine and the pelvis is set. And then we're just taking the spine side to side. So the spine moves 6 ways in theory. We already did 2 ways with cat and cow. And now we're doing 2 ways by bending side to side. And then we'll get the next 2 ways in just a moment. A few more times. Feeling that stretch, seeing where you feel the stretch. Always curious about our bodies today. Excellent, and even it out. Nice, and then we're gonna come back onto our heels for a very brief stretch and twist to the side. So we're gonna take a nice diaphragmatic breath. Exhale, zipping up the, I burped. Zipping up the TA, feeling the shoulders get broad and wide, feeling the upper abs release. Keeping that, there's barking spiders in here. So keeping that engagement, feeling the shoulders be broad. We're going to inhale and exhale, twist to one side. You can either put the hand behind you or on your waist. Exhale, hold. Inhale, get a little bit more twist. Inhaling on the twist keeps it honest. Exhale, hold. And inhale, a little bit more twist. And exhale back to neutral, nice. And right to the other side. Inhale, twist. Exhale, hold. Inhale, twist. Exhale, hold. Inhale, twist. And exhale back to neutral. Nice job. 6-way spine. All 6 ways. All right, let's seal our practice. So we'll one last time come to hands and knees. And I like to seal this practice 2 ways now. One is just to do an exploratory downward facing dog. Even though in the bog, I tell them I will not put a downward facing dog in this exercise. But I like doing a down dog at the end. So we're gonna curl the toes into the mat. We're gonna engage the TA. Think about the shoulders being wide. Relax the upper abs and lift the hips up into the air. I'm just doing a mini little down dog, stretching the heels. I just love the stretch that I get in the backs of my legs here. We'll just be here for about 10 more seconds. Breathing. Engage that TA, think about the shoulders being wide. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice, coming down to knees. And then we're gonna seal our entire practice with a 15-second plank. So I'm gonna make sure I'm in really good structure here. Quickly finding my resting neutral pelvis. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, zipping up the TA, releasing the upper abs, shoulders wide. I'm gonna reach one foot back and then the other. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep breathing. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nice job, everybody. We did it! Yeah! Yes. Slacker bog yoga, not yoga. microaggressions.